What's up, everybody? This is Chris coming back to you with my second installment of Cryptocurrency News Daily. The first thing I'm going to go over here is Visa is pushing back against Coinbase's claim that Visa is responsible for the faulty charges. Pretty interesting, to have two major companies like this pushing back and forth against each other as to who's responsible for a lot of money and a lot of upset people. There are several people claiming that their bank accounts have been completely drained by Coinbase, charging them up to 50 times the amount that they actually purchased. Like I said yesterday, if you are somebody affected by this, I would definitely get in touch with Coinbase, even Visa if it's your Visa, and get them at both sides, and hopefully one of them will work out the issue for you. Next up here is this article is going over the U.S. government. One White House official says that the U.S. government is not passing Bitcoin regulations anytime soon. The government is more concerned about raising concern to the public about the possible downfalls of Bitcoin, how it can be used for criminals and criminal activities, all these different things, which, we obviously already know about. Meanwhile, while all this scare tactics are going on, the currency that is used to fund the overwhelming majority of illegal activities is the US dollar. So, while all this goes on, cryptocurrencies are going to continue to grow, and they're not going anywhere, no matter how many scare tactics people try to put out there. In the state news, more and more states are introducing bills to work with the blockchain rather than throw out scare tactics to scare people away from it. Arizona is one of the main ones here. Arizona, I'm sure most of you've already heard, Arizona has passed Bill SB 1091. It was endorsed by the Senate on February 8th, and if it's passed by the House, Arizona will officially be the first state to accept cryptocurrencies for your state tax payments. They also have Bill HB 2601, which would regulate crowdfunding through ICOs. That bill's first reading is set for the House of Representatives on June 2nd. Tennessee has also introduced an unnumbered bill, and that one would recognize cryptocurrency financial transactions and smart contracts in the state, as well as protect ownership rights of information secured on blockchain networks. Now this article also goes over the 4 bills that were introduced by Wyoming, which I went over in my previous video. If you didn't see that one, definitely read through this article. Those 4 bills are definitely good news for cryptocurrencies. So we have several states here that are making moves to position themselves ahead of the curve as far as working with blockchain technology, different currencies, rather than trying to fight against them. Now we go to Japan. Japan has some pretty big news coming out of there today. The 2 cryptocurrency associations in Japan are supposedly merging. They are in negotiations. The Japan Blockchain Association and Japan Cryptocurrency Business Association are in talks to merge their companies. This comes on the heels of one of Japan's largest exchanges being hacked to the tune of 58 billion yen. The 2 companies are discussing the merger as a way to restore trust in the industry. It's always an interesting thing when the 2 largest companies in one country merge together. Sometimes that can play out bad for the public. It actually usually does. So we'll see how this works out. It's probably going to be them enforcing regulations more than helping the blockchain, but we will see how it works out. Next up here is going to be going over Tron. Tron has, it's basically going over their roadmap. This article talks about how Tron is at the very beginning of their roadmap. It's basically just getting going. The first phase of their 6-phase process is starting a sharing service as a proof of concept for the full Tron blockchain. Tron's main net is set to launch as a test platform at the end of Q1, which would be by March 31st. They do say that it would be at the very end of the quarter, so really March 31st is the big date that we're looking for Tron's mainnet launch. And that's not the full launch, it's a test launch, test platform. So if that all goes well, hopefully soon thereafter, we will see the actual launch of the mainnet. That would be some very good news for Tron. Would probably see a spike in the price. That's basically what this article goes over. Says if Tron does follow through with everything they plan to do, that it will be a very good currency to own. So, like I say with everything, we'll see how it all plays out. That's kind of my MO with everything. Take all of this with a grain of salt. These companies throw a lot of things out there trying to create hype for their currencies, and it's all just a process and seeing how things are going to work out in the long run. Lastly here, Atari is one of the newest companies to announce that they plan to invest in cryptocurrencies, and they actually plan to create their own coin. Now they have bought a 17.5% stake in Infinity Networks, which is a blockchain-based digital entertainment platform. Infinity Networks created the blockchain-based digital entertainment platform, which Atari bought 17.5% stake of. Atari is also planning different things. Like I said, take all of this with a grain of salt. A lot of these companies that have been saying they're getting involved in the blockchain or that they're going to create their own coin, it seems like a lot of them are doing it just to create hype around their stock again. Most of these companies that have done this have been companies whose stocks have been hurting lately. And a lot of them have seen huge spikes in the price of their stock once they announce something to do with the blockchain. The SEC has recently suggested companies such as this will face increased scrutiny from regulators. Really, any of these companies that tout all this stuff, say they're going to do all this stuff, and then don't follow through with it, they're basically just going to be seen as another pump and dump scheme. They announce a bunch of stuff to create hype around their stock, but then they never actually follow through with it, and basically people that bought the stock end up losing out because the price will just plummet right back down lower than it was, because now they will lose the trust of their investors. So like I said, do your own research on everything. Look into it. Don't just buy the hype on everything you hear. It is definitely best to do a ton of research before you invest in any of these companies and any of these currencies. But that is going to do it for me today here. Please subscribe to the channel. I will be bringing you news every single day on what is going on in the cryptocurrency world.